pwede. Try nyo! Bongga! Nagkanin kayo? Good.
This is what I would want to show everyone who said Starlink isn't worth it. It's not worth it for you because you live in a big city where it's so easy to get the internet. But for a lot of people, it's not that easy. Right now they're just streaming something from YouTube to demonstrate that even streaming is just fine. You can do education, you can do entertainment, communication. There's so many options when you finally have the internet. So Mia, while that's connecting, can I ask you, where are we right now?
We're in Barangay Langka in Palayan City. My head of CDR, si Kuya Bong, sent me a link to Starlink, and I thought it was a good idea because we've had a lot of problems during COVID where the kids couldn't learn, and then we have 4 barangays that don't actually have very good signal.
Can you tell us again what you were telling me when we came up the mountain about the kids?
The kids would sit in they would find hotspots of signal where there's only like 1 or 2 bars, but it's enough for them to message, it's enough for them to make calls. And it would be just by the road under a tree, and then they would sit there. Like sometimes during, I would go around and then I'd see a group of kids gathered under one tree. I was like, oh, that's where the signal is.
How about your phone right now? Do you have a signal in this area?
No, there's 0. I can't show you because my phone just died, but
my phone says no service.
Yeah,
so
none at all. And this is already our barangay hall, so even our barangay doesn't have signal.
So we're getting around 85, 90. Usually after the first 10 or 15 minutes, that's the time you see the best speeds. I think we've only been here how long? Maybe 5 minutes?
Yeah.
So the upload's pretty good, 30. So I think right now they're doing a test of a live stream. Someone opened YouTube on their phone a moment ago. I saw them opening websites. Everything is instant. Bear in mind, right now in this location, they cannot get an internet connection, cannot get a signal on their cell phone. Apparently, they can sometimes get a connection because of something that was put on top of that mountain over there. I don't know if it's a point-to-point, if it's a repeater. I couldn't really understand, but right now they're using Starlink. And it was as simple as plugging it in, and that's it. They're online. There's a school nearby. The barangay hall is here. You put one of these units here, suddenly you have internet connection. That's why I'm happy that the mayor reached out to me and she asked, can you go here because we want to use this for our people. This is not reliant on cell phone towers. It's not reliant on wires. As long as it can see the sky, it will get connected because Starlink have thousands of satellites up there. And if there's a problem with one of the satellites, the dish will just move itself and redirect itself. If you're wondering right now, we're actually in a basketball court because it's a nice clear area. We do need a view of the sky. And just a reminder for anyone that's wondering, there's 2 components to the Starlink. You have the dish on the right, which connects to the satellite, then you have the Wi-Fi router on the left. The Wi-Fi router supports up to 128 wireless devices. If you want, you can buy an Ethernet adapter and then you could extend it with your own router, with your own extenders, repeaters, whatever you prefer. So there's a lot of versatility with the Starlink, but even out of the box, 128 devices, that's quite a lot. And we're already seeing 100 plus megabit per second. I'm sure if we leave it a little while, we'll hit the 200, which we're typically seeing there in Quezon City, Pasig City, because it doesn't matter where you are in the Philippines, as long as the dish can see the sky. In fact, let's go and do another speed test. Although I can tell you that little girl over there is already streaming Coco Melon on her cell phone, something that they wouldn't typically be able to do. But now with Starlink, simple, very, very simple. It is worth considering that there are other people connected. There's probably 8 people connected. So this isn't an exclusive speed test, but look at that, 200, 220 megabit per second up in the mountains where we cannot get cell phone service. And in fact, I can already hear some of the staff on the phone talking to people in the office about how they can actually get this set up. Because when you're in government, you have to do things a certain way. You know, you have to do all the paperwork and show how you spent the money and everything like that. So they're already working on that. So it's really fast thinking of the mayor, fast action to get everyone connected. This has only been in the country for how long? A few weeks? Well, available to the general public. And people are already thinking, how can we use this to help our people, right? So, Mia, what's your initial impression of the Starlink?
Very good. We're so excited to use it because the signal is really strong. The alternative that we have here at the moment is actually quite expensive for individual students, and it's not that reliable.
Do you think this is something that you will be bringing to your people soon? To your residents, to your constituents?
Well, I'd like to think so. It's a very promising technology, so I really want to bring it, especially in barangays like this where the internet is still not as accessible as it should be.
Who could you foresee using a service like this, Starlink?
Well, DepEd I think would definitely benefit. The disaster management risk definitely is a very big, it would be such a big help to them.
I think you brought your disaster response guy with you today, is that right?
Yes, I did.
Maybe we could ask him what kind of experiences they've had in the past and whether Starlink could help them.
Yeah, of course, let's go.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mr. Bong Hilado, the CDRMO officer of Palayan City, Nueva Ecija. We are here now at Barangay Langka testing and demonstrating the Starlink equipment. We have two barangays here in Palayan City where we have no connection of internet. Ito pong ating equipment na ito ay magagamit talaga natin during disaster, especially when all the communications are down. Mabilis po nating mapaparating sa ating operation center kung anong nangyayari dito sa kabundukan. At the same time, isang bagay din po ito para sa ating mga kababayan dito sa Langka na magkaroon tayo ng mahusay at mabilis na internet para sa ganoon magkaroon din sila ng connection with their relatives, mga OFWs na nakatira o nagtatrabaho sa iba't ibang bansa. At during disasters, all the connections here are interrupted. So very important po kasi ang communication pagdating po sa disaster. Dahil usually pag nagkakaroon ho ng malalakas na bagyo o pag-ulan dito sa kabundukan, kailangan pa natin pumanik or kailangan yung ating mga punong barangay or public officials natin dito sa barangay ay bumaba upang humingi ng tulong. So it's very difficult for us. It took us hours para po makakuha ng impormasyon dito sa taas. So with this equipment, mabilis na mabilis po ang ating responde, mabilis na mabilis po yung ating response, effort na maibigay agad sa ating mga kababayan na nangailangan dito sa atin sa Barangay Langka at sa Barangay Doña Josefa. Meron po tayong mga generator. Actually po, ang city government have purchased generator units na pwede nating magamit. As a matter of fact, ang Barangay Langka is also a beneficiary of 15 kVA generator which they can use in times of disaster or power interruption.
This is our daycare center in Barangay Langka, Situ Sandalain. This is where a lot of the kids come. When they need signal or something.
So here in the next location you can see no service, and although there are many modern bridges around here, you can also see back to basics where you're just using wooden logs or trees to cross a river or creek. And over here you can see someone drying their rice, so you really know you're not in the city. These are the far-flung places that haven't really been reached by the telcos, or the service is not up to the expectation of what you're paying for. If you see this pole here at the top, there's a panel antenna, a highly directional antenna, and that's how they're getting any kind of internet here. But they said it's slow and it's expensive. They're not really getting what they hoped for. And of course, if that wobbles around in the wind, if there are obstructions between whatever tower they're pointing that at, you're going to have a lot of difficulties. So can they get some kind of connection? Yeah, maybe. But is it good enough, especially if you want to serve a lot of people? Maybe not.
Ngayon lang, ma'am, yung pan. Parang ngayon lang buwan na ito magkukunik kami.
Ganon!
Galing pa dyan sa Aloruma.
Ay, ganon!
Oo,
so,
yung wire na yan, na mahaba na yan.
Oh my God.
Pero kaya mahal din ang bigay ng oras-oras, ilang panyo. Nagbibinta sila. Salip mo naman matawagan kung may tatawag sa'yo na yung emergency sa mga relatives. Siyempre, makukunik ka. eh 20 pesos. 3 oras lang.
Oh my God, ang mahal.
And if you're wondering about YouTube, you can see I open the videos, they immediately play. And bear in mind, I'm not the only one using Starlink. There's a lot of people connected right now, including some of the residents who just wanted to try it out because they're hopeful for something better than what they have right now, where they can barely really get a decent connection or a usable connection. Now, of course, one of the other things that Mayor will have to consider is that right now we're testing with my personal Starlink, which is on a residential plan. If they're going to use it for government use or commercial use or any other use, they might have to get a different subscription. So those are the kind of things that have to be considered. Like I said in my previous videos, the reason why I bought a Starlink is I want to use it during calamities, disasters, to help other people. I want to go to relief centers, I want to join the DRRMO. It's not really for myself because in Metro Manila we have a lot of internet options already. You see that blue bag? That's holding everything for the Starlink. One guy, one bag, that's it, simple.
So we're now in Barangay Doña Josefa. We're at the Barangay Hall. And then if you can see, the Barangay Hall is right next to our elementary school. And then over there, where you have the green roof, that's our Barangay Health Station. And then on the other side, with the green roof as well, we have Kalikasan Elementary School. So it's situated perfectly between those.
The included router supports 5 GHz Wi-Fi and 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi. If you want maximum speed, you go for the 5 GHz. If you want maximum distance, you go for the 2.4 GHz. There is a satellite on top of this property, but it's only for TV. You can get satellite internet, traditional satellite internet, but it is so expensive compared to Starlink.